One thing I thought was really cool is building stuff for addictions, which is great, like using tech to help. Wouldn't it be better if you had groups?
Do you realise how you formed that?
No.
You saying building things for addiction, which sounds like you're like encouraging people.
Oh, right. Yeah. I mean,
you're like, I'm going to build a lot of things so people can get addicted.
Building things to break addictions. That's what I should have said. I really like your headphones and your setup.
Megan's.
Oh, nice. They go with the red audio interface, don't they, as well? Having red headphones is a nice touch.
Yeah.
I've got 2 blood tests to do, and I was like, shall I do them on air? And then I was like, probably not. YouTube might be like, somebody's pricking their finger and showing blood in the video. So I was like, no, I won't bother doing it. But I've got 2 intolerance tests. One for food intolerances, and the other one for environmental allergies. So again, just want to be I'm be interested to know if I'm allergic to anything food-wise. So again, in trying to optimize the human body, you can avoid taking the wrong stuff and continue taking the right stuff, hopefully. But I've got tons of stuff to like
Content for the pod, is it?
Content for the pod. Yeah, this might be like an hour episode one type thing, but we'll see how we go on. So should we jump straight into it?
I feel like I've been wiggling about for the last half an hour.
Oh, right. Yeah, it looks good.
Out things.
I'm always like I'm always just trying to make sure that I'm like in the top half with a little bit of room so I can put the border in and all sorts in the post production edit, as it were.
That's better.
And then I use my microphone to like roughly know where. Obviously, right now I'm 16:9, but when I go down to vertical, make sure I'm still in the middle of the shot. Yeah, exactly. Because I think should be more like here for the middle of the shot when it's vertical.
Well, we'll see how that gets on.
All the detail.
Don't be a doorstop. Don't be a doorstop. Don't be a doorstop.
Right, welcome back to another episode. This is episode 63, I think, according to the playlist. We've got 62 videos, and we've got overall 100 odd videos because I think we put some shorts. And as you can see, our shorts are actually getting much more traction than our actual videos, which is always a good thing. But I realized that sometimes when you see like 300 views on a short, if you actually visualize what a 300 capacity room looked like, that would be tons of people. And then if you look at videos, and just right now, like let's say a video gets 50 people or 20 people or 10 people, like speaking in front of 20 people is still like a big deal, right? So
yeah,
which is pretty cool. Yeah, I'm coming in hot today. So no, I'm not going to do a live blood test. I'll hold that till later. But talking about optimizing the human body, I have cracked the code in motivation. Motivation, as we've spoken before, motivation comes and goes. So you need to have discipline. What's a good way to generate discipline? Put yourself in an AI generator and create basically attractive versions of yourself, but like gym body versions of yourself. You're then inspired by it and be like, oh, I could look like this if I put effort in. And then it inspires you to be like, cool, I'm going to start going to the gym, or cool, I'm going to start eating healthier. And that's exactly what AI images has helped me do. So photo AI, Peter Level's built this AI, this photo model stuff to generate all sorts of images, and he has different packs. If you click on the pack, it'll generate a bunch of photos based on prompts. One of the packs is like fitness influencer. So I didn't do that one. I went for the normal fitness one, and I generated a bunch of images that look like me. Now I'm probably not going to show. Well, I probably won't show you guys on the pod, but I'll show Tom privately what they look like. I was going to screen share, but it might accidentally come into the call. So I'll show you all these after, and they're insanely good. So I took basically like 20 odd photos of myself from my library of photos, because iPhones have that nice, like, this is Dan, right? So I drag 20 photos and put them in, and it's got me in like a ripped body, like really athletic looking, just only slightly more athletic looking than I am now. But it's incredibly inspiring. Now, it could also absolutely crush you, because it's like every time you now look in the mirror, you've kind of in your mind, you've got the AI photo, and then you look in the mirror and you see yourself and you're like, oh, I'm not there yet. So it could actually crush your self-esteem, which could be also an interesting technique. Who likes to be crushed? Who likes to be encouraged, kind of thing, and see what works. So I was like, gyms should take photos of people, or like have a tool, like a free tool to like upload 10 photos of yourself and see how you would look if you did like 1 day a week working out, 2 days a week working out, 3 days a week working out. And then if you kind of like do this like range or like scale, you would see the AI image change, and then you could like print off the AI image as like a big like a billboard thing. There's like human cutouts. I'm genuinely thinking I might get a human cutout of myself as like an athletic version or a more athletic version, and have that as like inspiration, basically, to generate more motivation.
I didn't know where this pod was going. I wasn't expecting this.
Yeah, it's too crazy for me to show any of the photos because some of them are a bit like, oh.
Yeah, I don't think McDonald's would like that marketing of how many burgers a week you had, and then you're just slowly getting bigger. That probably won't work from a marketing ploy from them. But for eating healthily, that definitely makes sense, because I guess it's just tapping into the visualization of what that looks like. Well, if the AI can help you with what that looks like, then you can tailor make your exercise based off what you'd like the look of. Because a lot of the time, a lot of people don't know what they look like if they added a bit more fitness. They'll always go, I want to be like that person, but that person might be taller or shorter than them or have a different body type. But yeah, if you can go, these are the different variants that you can be, going into the Marvel universe now.
It's the hyper personalization, isn't it?
That one, and then you can work your way towards it. And I guess by having a visualization of what it is, it probably skips out this sort of guessing game for those that don't really know what they want to necessarily look like in their imagination.
Yeah, and if you built this into fitness apps generally, you could be like, you're getting closer to this version, and if you start to deteriorate, you know how Duolingo, the bird, starts to like cry and get like crazy when you're about to lose your streak or whatever, then essentially you could like make the AI version of that person slightly more kind of like overweight as they start to deteriorate. So it's kind of like a motivation, a visual
Uber
motivation.
Eats every time you do an Uber Eats, it changes.
Yeah, you've ordered Deliveroo. Like, and also it would hook up to your watch. So it'd be like, looks like you've been sat for the last 12 hours. Looks like our AI image is going a bit bigger. So, but yeah, I definitely think it's the whole visualization. And for me, visualizing, it's more of a motivation. So seeing me as that person is way more inspiring than seeing generic animation or generic illustration of said macho man, kind of like.
And the thing is if you put that as your profile picture, then you are that image online.
Yeah,
you are that digital.
I can become this person now, so I'm going to change all my profile pictures to this thing. But I thought it was phenomenal, so I'm going to carry on using the tool to generate. So the reason why I bought a subscription is because he released a YouTube's thumbnail pack, so you can have people like and doing all the surprise look automatically. And I'm like, okay, that is what I need. I can't be bothered waiting for us to be in the same room or a photo shoot or whatever. So if you send me 20 photos of yourself, or I could probably find 20 photos of you, I can put it in and then generate a YouTube thumbnail pack of your images. And then you could download them. And then all you'd have to do is like use AI to remove the backgrounds. And then it could be used in podcasts and stuff. So that's really why I came. And then I was like, oh, this fitness thing is an interesting thing. And yeah, it was an inspiration. So talking about Deliveroo, onto subject number 2. Do you know that you can now use Deliveroo to order stuff from B&Q? Mind blown.
I didn't know that.
We all know Screwfix. Screwfix have always done this, like, we've got this magazine, you look in the magazine and you order and your stuff will turn up next day type stuff. I think Screwfix not that long ago started to introduce like same day delivery. And I don't know how they would do that with whatever infrastructure they had, but Uber and Deliveroo are providing a bunch of delivery infrastructure, transportation infrastructure for other people to use, so you can tap into it. So now Deliveroo is, I particularly prefer Deliveroo now, but Deliveroo is doing pharmacies, it's doing supermarkets. So now I'm doing a little bit more like supermarket, not just restaurants. And they're doing flowers now. And then I noticed they're doing B&Q. And that's great because gone are the days of like going to a shop, struggling then to find that one item in the shop, to realize they're out of stock of that one item, and it's not in this B&Q, it's in the next B&Q, you know, all that stuff. So the fact that you can now get it on Deliveroo is a great idea. And I think more and more people are just going to go to shops less and less. I mean, Amazon is testament to that whole ease anyway. Like if you think about something, you'll quickly like type it into your Amazon, buy it, right? So yeah, Deliveroo are now
That's
shipping.
fascinating. The only
DIY
thing that's
products.
gone into my brain, I don't know how this works, is I want to order just one of the most longest pieces of wood just to see this cyclist do
No, what you
some
need is a
jousting
ladder.
around London.
You need a big ladder, kind of like a, you know, Wallace and Gromit's kind of like a
Yeah,
for
a
window cleaning
three-wheeler.
ladder. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. With like one of those side cabs with the dog in it.
So there might be a lot of jousting happening in London. Is that basically what you're saying? Because everyone will be just ordering it for the lols.
Yeah, fighting for those expensive £80 ladders. It's worth the joke, isn't it? It's worth the comedy of buying an £80 ladder to see somebody drive it on a moped. So, or see it with somebody driving it in a car, to be honest. That's kind of funny too. So, yeah, I thought that was cool. So if you're running a business, like figure out how you get on Deliveroo. Now, obviously, different areas have different supply and demands. For one, Deliveroo drivers, and two, people ordering through Deliveroo. But I thought it was a great idea. No doubt now it's going to open up a new market, and you would prefer to do Deliveroo, B&Q, because they're on Deliveroo, rather than, you know, Screwfix, because it's a whole different platform, right? So this whole like one app for all is always a great approach. So I thought great that Deliveroo are pivoting in this way. They're not just doing food; they're doing all sorts of stuff.
That's interesting. I wonder what would be the like other that you can stretch the infrastructure of Deliveroo of like, can you take my stuff to the skip type of thing, or you flip it the other way and you get a lift to your barbers and it's all included in the price, or whatever, that you could book your barbers inside your Deliveroo.
Yeah, like
You're
an
delivering
add-on.
yourself.
Yeah, we'll come and pick you up. We'll shave your head in the car and drop you off. Yeah, I think any sort of tag on would be very interesting. I was thinking even just for bakeries, right? If you make some cakes in the day and you need it to be sent over in the day, you want like a courier to do it in the daytime. So having Deliveroo drivers and stuff, your bakery could then start selling stuff. So like Cadogan Bakery, they could be like, cool, we now have a bunch of riders. And I think if Just Eat was clever, Just Eat could do the same thing. They've got a bunch of moped drivers, essentially, or car drivers, and use that infrastructure to supply it to local businesses. So like, you know, Aiden's or Cadogan Bakery or whatever could utilize those things. Now, of course, those small businesses might be like, oh, we can't be bothered paying the fee. But all you would do is just up the price. Just up the price by 20% or 30%, because people do pay for ease. I'm evidence.
I think that's the thing, is don't they take the fee anyway? So shouldn't it be the delivery fee? So technically their prices won't change, and then Deliveroo will take a fee, and then delivery will take a fee.
I think it would be in addition. So the delivery fee would go to the driver, right?
Yeah.
But then Deliveroo needs to run. So Deliveroo also need to take money on top of the delivery
Isn't
fee.
that the service charge that they have?
Well, I don't know how it works. So I assume that it's either going to be a monthly subscription no matter what, or it's based on volume, right? So the number of stuff sold, it would just take a percentage of each of the sales, which I assume that would be better for them to do. And I assume that's why they do, because I think the prices are conflated on there, right? If you went to Morrison's yourself, rather than buying it through Deliveroo, regardless of delivery, it would still be conflated, I think. And that's the whole USP. Like, this is the same price as in store. And like some of the products are highlighted in that fashion, which I think is cool and interesting. So, right, are you on to the next one?
So what's the biggest thing you could order? Can you order a bathroom or kitchen from B&Q?
Who knows? You'll have to go onto Deliveroo, put some sort of London postcode in, and then see what B&Q allows you to do, or find your nearest B&Q and see if they happen to be on Deliveroo. Because Deliveroo is not even up in your place, is it?
No, I don't think it is. Maybe in the cities, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
We've got Uber Eats and Just Eat, but not Deliveroo.
Yeah, makes sense.
I think it's usually more cyclists, isn't it, with Deliveroo? Well,
it is a mix. Yeah,
it was more
that makes sense. Yeah, cyclists or mopeds or something. I saw recently the delivery driver. This is a tangent. Delivery driver that does the Amazon route. He obviously had his car in the garage, so he came around on an electric scooter, and I was like, "Nice ride!" Like, why not, right? You do it. You got to do what you got to do.
Pay the bills.
So, yeah. Have you been watching any of the Paralympics?
I haven't actually. I spotted that there's apparently 2 people from Flintshire, one from Connors and one from Mold, that I think I spotted a news article on. I don't know how they're doing, but
Yeah, there's also a lady from Wrexham. A lady from Wrexham run gold in, I think it was shot put or discus or
did
javelin.
you say won gold or ran gold?
One.
Oh, okay.
Actually, got a gold medal. So
How can you run a discus? And I was like, surely they failed in that regards. But...
yeah, I've actually been watching quite a bit of it, and the most impressive, like all of it, is incredibly impressive. And I would say that these people, these individuals, have even crazier mindsets, like stronger mindsets, more determination than typical Olympic athletes, because I would say from what they've gone through. Of course, that just means that there's a bunch of like trauma stories sometimes associated with somebody's story. But I would say even that, you can say like today, right now, you're an incredibly determined person, or you have lots of drive or whatever, and you like really strong-minded. But I saw archery.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a guy with no arms doing archery. I thought that was phenomenal. That's so impressive. So
is it feet or teeth or
he was using he was using one foot, and he was using his chin to trigger it, and it would be attached to kind of like his back, kind of like shoulder.
Oh, okay.
So he clips it in with his mouth and then raises his leg, and then is able to move his chin to trigger the release mechanism of the arrow.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if you've seen the archery stuff anyway.
No.
The actual target is actually quite far away, so it's actually doing like this up and down movement, right? It's not like a direct across. So he won gold, this American dude, like incredibly impressive. So yeah, I thought that was like really, really cool. So again, it's inspiring to watch all this sports stuff, especially with like Paralympians doing this stuff. It's like really, really cool. So,
talking about programs, how's the Twitch and YouTube stream coming along?
You read my mind. Well done. That was a good segue. Really cool. So even though I read that Twitch does this like 48-hour like cutoff point, it actually doesn't. It just carries on, like the application like auto connects. So I tried to run it on my Raspberry Pi. It just wouldn't run because I couldn't download OBS, which is the streaming software, for some reason, because it's on like Raspbian. Like the operating system is like different to anything else, right? So it has to work in that method. So I couldn't get it working on the Raspberry Pi. And then I was like, fine, I'll do OBS for a bit. And then I was like, actually, all my settings for my personal channel is in OBS, and there's no way of kind of like switching profiles. So why don't I try and find another application? Now I'm familiar with Streamlabs because I've used Streamlabs before, downloaded Streamlabs, and I started just see how long I can stream for directly to Twitch. Works great. Had like a couple of follows just in streaming anyway. And it would loop through a playlist dynamically, like automatically loop through the playlist, which is great. So in 24 hours, you will have gone through 62 episodes and a bit kind of thing, which is really cool. The comments and stuff is not that active because we're just like one channel and many channels, right, on Twitch. But it was good fun. And I just left my laptop on all night. So I have an ability to check the electric use of my whole desk because it's plugged into a smart plug. And I'm like, to be honest, it doesn't take that much electricity at all to just have one single laptop running because I unplugged the monitor. So it was only running the laptop and keeping it on. So I'm like, that would make sense if you just had a laptop plugged up. Yes, cool. If you lose internet connection, whatever, but that's a problem anyway, regardless of who you are or what you are, right? So that was cool. And then I was like, actually, I'd love to do both YouTube and Twitch. However, Streamlabs, for some reason, doesn't let me stream to multiple locations. And OBS is a bit patchy in this way as well. You have to have a plugin to help you stream in multiple locations, which is a bit weird. But yeah, so now I'm trying streaming to YouTube because I think YouTube feels a bit more familiar to us because that's where we are generally. And I hope that that's a place that it's okay to have a live TV channel running, basically. So after all the kind of like chat, I've managed to trial different ways and managed to do it. So it's kind of cool. And then I was like, if we just create 3-minute videos and put them in the playlist, then it would run ads. So if you're wanting an advert in our TV show, in our TV channel that runs 24 hours, 24/7. Well, it's not run 24/7. I've run it for at least a weekend. Then create 3-minute video.
24/2.
Yeah, and we'll negotiate a price on getting it into our playlist, which essentially would mean that we would upload it to our channel so we could have it in our playlist. I think that's how it would go. Because I can't create a video of somebody else's playlist, can I? I mean, I can't create a playlist of somebody else's video, but I'll need to double check that. But yeah, it's going really well. Talking about TV shows though.
I got asked over the weekend. Someone was intrigued to know where was this channel starting.
I think when
So I shared this Twitch stream, but it's probably whilst it was going down. So.
is this somebody else that has not commented already on our channel, on our thing?
Potentially, I've not seen comments from them.
Oh, okay.
This is a couple.
Okay, cool. Well, interestingly, I feel like if you announce something, and this is going to be a marketing tactic, right? Marketing tactic. Just announce stuff, and then people will get interested. It doesn't matter if you're going to do it, because I was like, obviously, you guys know that we use ChatGPT to generate. We use the transcription and use ChatGPT to format all of our descriptions and stuff, right? The suggested title was "We're starting a TV channel," right? And all the descriptions like "We're starting a TV channel." I was like, cool. I'm just gonna run with this because who cares, right? And then people were like, "Oh, like awesome, well done on the TV channel," and I'm like, "Huh?" Like we're just joking about the fact that we could do a TV channel kind of thing. Like we could do this because we're inspired by such things as Graham Norton show and Kevin Hart doing his stuff. So I'm like, cool, people out there, if you've just got something, just start announcing things. Like announce that like you're going to start practicing for the Paralympics. Like just announce it, and that like creates a buzz. You don't need to necessarily do it, but funnily enough, I was then like, oh, actually, maybe I should do it. So then I did go and figure out how to do it, and then I've done it, right? So
motivation is announcing things, and then
Before
the pressure, the pressure of actually having to do this.
It worked, didn't it? So if you're not going to have AI versions of yourself as like this fit bodybuilder thing, then just guilt trip yourself by announcing things to the world, and just kind of like it's just funny. It's just funny. So talking about like traction and getting traction. So like two things. One, I've finally managed to like edit a couple of like shorts and publish those, right? And out of nowhere, yeah. What do you mean?
I've scheduled them for the whole week.
Oh no, for my one. For my one. Yeah. So I was like
2 shorts doing exactly the same thing.
Yeah, so Tom and I edit the main channel, the main show part, and then I was like, Tom, do you want to do some shorts? Because I think that is the best thing, because you've been doing shorts on your channel. That's getting the most traction, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
So I then was like, cool, I will try and do a short on my one. Because as you, like, we all know, shorts are getting more traction than long form video. So I started publishing stuff, and then lo and behold, I got my first hater. I've made it, people. I've made it. I've got my first hater
by now.
Okay, maybe a couple, but like a first like multi-comment thing. So they'll comment on one thing, and they'll comment on something else, both with hater vibes. And I'm like, we've made it, Tom. We're ruffling feathers. That's when we know we've made it. So on my personal channel, I'm ruffling feathers. So if you want to know how am I ruffling feathers, jump over to Real Dan Ryland and you'll find out how I'm ruffling feathers.
Once we've got a couple more comments, maybe we should go through all the different comments and what we've commented back on, positive or negative.
And I read, it was quite convenient because I read, I was listening to something about marketing and like YouTube stuff, and they were like, rule number 1, don't comment on anybody's stuff. Don't say, thanks, oh, this is fire, amazing. Don't do any of that. Comment questions. So in these hater comments, I've been questioning, like typing questions and hoping they're getting back, because you get engagement then, don't you, off them, which is really funny. But lo and behold, how many videos do you think this person's uploaded for themselves?
0.
Yes, correct, correct. So I'm not trying to give them too much airtime. I'm just kind of be like, just celebrating that, like, hey, if you're out there and you're worried about people hating on you, it's a part of the process. And if anything, it just means you're saying the right stuff, because people are getting angry or annoyed or irritated, or
unless
whatever.
you're just doing filler content that I think some of my stuff have been.
But nonetheless, it's engagement, isn't it? So final thought. And
I think for my haters, I've just been copying and pasting it into ChatGPT, saying, "What is a funny reply that I could do to this?" So I don't even bother wasting my energy thinking about stuff.
that makes absolute sense as well. Makes absolute sense. Last thing that I'm going to share is I finally did my video of reviewing the demos that have been uploaded to the season 5. That's not me farting. That's somebody screwing a thing very tight.
Sound like a creaky door opening, and this is where.
I'm just going to leave all this audio in. Yeah. Basically, I've done a video of looking at all the not looking at all of them. I randomly selected a bunch of demos in the Buildspace stuff, the nights and weekends that I've kind of like mentioned on and off, and critiqued them. So I watched the videos, and I realized when I watched back the stream, the audio of the video, when you screen share and you play a video, the audio of the video does not get kind of like collected by Riverside, which sucks. So thankfully, I already thought, I have no idea if this audio is coming, so I'm just going to rate on top of it, and I turned the captions on for those videos. But I went through like maybe like 8 or 12 ideas, and there were some really like interesting ones. One thing, so I basically got 3 ideas off the back of those ideas. Okay. So the whole reason why I watch these business ideas is, one, to like see what's out there and get inspired for myself. So the 3 things that I kind of like pulled out. So one guy was building an app that worked on addictions and habits. So it was essentially to help you break addictions and to help you create habits. But it was in its like infancy. So it's just like, you ticked that you haven't smoked today, or you tick that you haven't drunk today, or you ticked you've not eaten chocolate today. And the other one would be like, cool, I've gone for a walk. Yes, I've drunk six glasses of water or whatever. And I thought, and it was based on like streaks, and I thought it was cool. But one thing I thought was really cool is, one, building stuff for addictions, which is great, like using tech to help. Wouldn't it be better if you had groups?
Do you realize how you formed that?
No.
You're saying building things for addiction, which sounds like you're like encouraging people.
Oh, right, yeah. I mean,
you're like, I'm going to build a lot of things so people can get addicted.
Building things to break addictions. That's what that's what I should have said. You know what? Somebody would have commented that in the thing. That would have been a hater comment in the thing. You just said it's good to build addictions, right? I'm like, no. I didn't. Catch the concept, the idea that I'm sharing. But yeah, you're right. So building stuff. So
you create a separate app to build addictions for those that don't.
Yeah, build addictions and break addictions. Those are the 2 like brother sister apps that I'll create. But yeah, the addiction stuff. I was like, if you could have people do the dry January. If you could have like a group where you could sign up to like, I'm also going to do the dry January, or I'm also going to quit smoking, and you'd have it not a January, you'd have it throughout the year. So you'd have a community driven, we're breaking addictions, where you'd have people sign up to commit to not drinking, for example. And then every day they would say, have I drunk? And they'd be like, no, I have not drunk. So they keep their streak going. And then you just have a leaderboard of people. Because I think this was like, in the infancy, it was just like me doing this to-do list. There was no like accountability. So I would essentially create an app for breaking addictions that's community driven. So you could sign up to join or commit to the whole not having chocolate. And then every day they would be like ranking that I've not had chocolate. And then it would have some sort of like leaderboard in it to help you. Because I think it's the accountability and the streak side of stuff, which would be cool to play. So that was one idea. Actually, once I've told you all these ideas, you can just rank or rate the best idea that I've told you from the. So the 8
like
ideas.
Maybe you shouldn't share all your ideas, so then it's extra content for next week if we can't think of anything.
That is true, but I'm so on fire for these ideas. If then it'll help me generate more stuff for next week. If I just go with this, because then I'll be like, cool, I don't need to think about anything for next week because I'll just got this stuff in my notepad. So it'll help me generate more content. The second idea, this person was making motivational speeches through anime. Okay. So it wasn't very well described, because I watched a video and it's all anime, and it's like, you're never going to be able to do this. And he's like, oh, I'm feeling so weak. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it. And then over time, like I was like, skip. And then over time, it's like, actually, yes, I am going to be the master. I'm going to be able to use my magic stuff, and I am going to be the magician or whatever, right? I am going to have mythical powers. And then the enemy's like, oh no. And then that's like the motivation. So I'm like, interesting. So
that's definitely Dragon Ball Z. Most of the season is just the build up.
Exactly, of these kind of like good versus evil or whatever.
It's the anticipation. Now Dragon Ball Z, that is all anticipation of a battle.
Well, that's
three-quarters of the season building up to a battle that then takes probably like another quarter of a season to actually get to the battle.
Yeah, the battles are always quite long as well when they go through them as well. But yeah, I think anticipation is a good thing to do. But when you want motivation in the moment, like a motivational speech, it was unique and strange. I'm not going to say bad because like
was it motivation of sitting down because it's elongated? It's encouraged you to sit down.
I have no idea, but what I thought was cool is what happens if you could have like a motivational AI that would generate speeches for very specific needs in particular characters. So you just collaborate. It's kind of like Cameo, right? Cameo, if you don't know, is a bunch of celebrities. You can pay for those celebrities to make videos for you. You can either hand them a script or you say, hey, it's my brother's birthday, so hey, Arnold Schwarzenegger, can you say hi to Tom, or whatever? And then they record a video and then they send it, and then you can show Tom, look, this is Arnold Schwarzenegger saying hi to you, or whatever, right? So I'm like, I essentially think that Arnold Schwarzenegger should do something like this, or or The Rock, have some sort of AI that would generate a video of him looking directly at the camera of like this motivational speech that would be driven off something that you tell it. So if you were like, I'm really struggling to get up in the morning or whatever, or I'm really struggling to build routine around going for a walk, then it would generate this AI audio and AI video of Arnold Schwarzenegger or The Rock saying like this stuff. And it wouldn't need to be like hard or whatever, like hurtful, but it could do that. And that would be just a service. You'd get loads of celebrities to like join on board for it. So it'd be dynamic. Adding to the thing, there is some influencer, I think, that's like, what are you doing here? You should be working out. And literally he does something like that every day. Like his video is like always like, get off social media, you should be working out, or something. I just can't remember who it is. It's just like this dude in a vest or whatever, or he's like eating meat or he's drinking milk or whatever, and like turns to you and like, hey, what you doing here? Like, you should be working out. And that is literally, he posts a video like that every day. So in your feed, if you follow to him, like after you're scrolling and you're seeing all your other topics and content, you see him to be like, you've been scrolling too long, like move on or whatever. And I thought that would be funny if you had like that kind of content being auto-generated.
That's funny.
And you could essentially bake it into your social media apps, but no one would want to do that. But if you had an app that every like 10 swipes, or every like, if you spent more than 5 minutes on the app, like The Rock would be like, can you smell what's cooking? Yeah, if you don't get off this app.
This phone, because you're on it too long.
Yeah. So, and my final idea. There was this lady that was documenting her, like, how to be creative, her creative journey. And she wanted to write 50 articles or 50 kind of like pieces of content on how to develop your creativity, which I thought was cool. She was going to do those 50 articles based off of a load of content that she's already generated, like videos and podcasts that she's already done, formulate it into like a how to be creative, right? How to develop it. And some of the blockers, right, of why you don't feel creative, like, you think it's rubbish, or you're worried about other people's opinions or whatever, then put it into a book. And I was like, great idea, very interested. However, why not do it as like a getaway weekend, like an Airbnb experience? There's this artist guy that, I'm not sure if you've seen him, but he spins his canvas on this like bicycle thing and then swings this like paint tray over it and it makes swirls, right? And people think that's not art, but I think everything is art. So I think it's really cool because it's super abstract, because I always like abstract stuff. He did like a weekend where he got some of his like hardcore fans to pay to see him do that live and also do some of that stuff for themselves in like this paint weekend in the forest. So what's the name of your mate that runs the campsite in the forest?
Seb.
So I think it'd be great for Seb to essentially partner with creative writing, like how to be creative, partner with artists that have fan bases to like create a weekend where they would pay and have their accommodation covered, their food covered for them, and their like art and crafts stuff covered for them in some forest, and have like a creative club of how to be creative. And you could potentially do it as like a holiday club for kids, because again, I'm not sure if adults would be like mindful enough or like interested enough to like want to be more creative. But I think kids, if you did it like as a kids camp of like developing your creativity or unleashing your creativity or unlocking your creativity, you'd have a kids camp where you do it in some forest, like in what Seb has basically. And I thought that'd be kind of cool to do. So yeah, I essentially riffed on their good ideas, helped me to riff new kind of like potential expansions of those ideas. So which one's the best idea? Building addictions, the motivation speech, or the creative camp?
I think the breaking addictions jumped out.
Yeah.
I quite like the camp because I think going back to connecting to people and moving away from digital, I think is where the world will slowly veer off to, of like, yes, you create those loads of content, but people then do events off the fact that they've created good content. It's becoming more a thing. I've spotted that particularly with football YouTubers. I know like the Liverpool fan football channel, they have events in Liverpool where they just have a band, a bar, and just, I think they invite like old footballers along or whatever. And it's very clever because it is just connecting with the fan base that are already there and interested, and you could bump into more like-minded people. So I'd probably say I'll go breaking addiction. Just about.
Ding, ding, ding. Awesome. Well, if you wanted to listen to me speak for an hour and critiquing the 8 or 12 ideas, I can't remember. I think I circled through them quite a few times. Then head over to Real Tom Ryland. And if you want to see a bunch of good shorts, then head over to Mr. Tom Ryland. Is that what you are on YouTube?
I think so. Or just search Tom Ryland, I'm sure. I think it's all linked to Don't Be a Doorstop anyway, so you can find us linked up there on the homepage. Yeah,
and if you're interested in featuring on our TV channel, on our TV show, then reach out to us. Maybe you can then be on repeat 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and get your business or project featured in some ways. And until next time, keep hammering those nails. Talk to you later.